Hi, it's Friday, so let's talk sorcery. Today I want to tell you a story, The Scholar and the Sorcerer. It relates to the concept of the four authorities that I wrote about today in my blog. So if you don't follow my blog, please go to strategicsorcery.net, go to the blog. You'll see an entry for the four authorities, which are historical, cultural, functional, and invested meaning. So, I don't like to basically turn essays into videos. I'd rather tell a story. So this story was told to me by a Tibetan friend, and it stayed with me, and I think it has implications far beyond the world of Tibetan Buddhism. So, the scholar is traveling to Lhasa to meet a very high lama. Basically, super high, part of the government, an official. And to do this, he has to cross this enormous lake, right? So he gets in a boat, he crosses the lake, and he knows that he has to stay the night on an island in the lake. He can't do it all in one day. And that there's a yogi on the lake. Now, this yogi is a ngakpa. Ngakpa means mantra wielder. But in the case of a ngakpa, ngak or mantra is almost best translated as a spell. It's not just a meditation. These are people who did exorcisms, did spell work, did healing. They were the cunning people of Tibet. They are the cunning people of Tibet, as well as lamas and religious figures in their own right. So basically, you have the saint, the scholar and the sorcerer. So the scholar shows up, and the village ngakpa says, "Please, come in, come in." And he's, been here alone for years, practicing his tantra, his magic. And the scholar goes to sleep, and the sorcerer begins to chant. Now, I don't know exactly what practice he had, but it could be any one. But he's practicing, and maybe he's saying Benzar, Sidi Hum. And the scholar says, "Sorry to bother you, but, I'm a great scholar, so maybe you would be interested in knowing that you're saying it wrong, that the Sanskrit is Vajra, or it could be any number of mispronunciations, right?" The ngakpa, who is uneducated, says, "Oh my gosh, thank you, Pandita. Thank you. Amazing to share your teaching with me, your wisdom. I'm so thankful for it." Scholar goes to sleep. Sorcerer practices through the night, gets a little sleep himself. The next morning, they wake up, and the scholar gets in the boat to continue his way towards the capital city to meet the High Lama. And after he's out a couple miles in the boat, running along the surface of the water, comes the sorcerer, right? Just plowing along, floating at the very top of the water. And he says to the scholar, "I'm so stupid. Can you please again tell me what the proper translation of my mantra is? And I won't forget it this time, I promise." And the scholar, of course, looks at him and says, "Whatever you're doing is just fine for you." So this says something about translations and how true we have to be with them. So, for instance, when I do Hecate work, I use a lot of Greek, and when I do Luciferian or Christian work, I use a lot of Latin. And we can get very exact, and linguists will want to get very exact. And they should. The scholars should do what the scholars do. And practitioners should learn from them. That sorcerer who ran out to get the correct pronunciation, he wasn't being snotty, I don't think. He was being really, like, if you have knowledge that I don't have, let me know. But it turns out that getting that persnickety, getting down to that level of, what is the proper inflection? It's good for historical authenticity. It might not have an impact on functional authenticity. It might not make the magic tangibly better. And in fact, it could be better for someone to do their practice regularly, to work their magic daily, weekly, monthly, as opposed to simply studying it and getting the right pronunciation. So I always keep this in mind, and I keep this in balance. It's not a matter of dismissing scholarship because whether it works or not is all that matters. And it's not a matter of dismissing functionality because we must be true to whatever period in history and place in geography that we've fetishized as being the real deal. It's a matter of keeping balance, knowing what you care about, what is important to you, and keeping that thing in mind. So that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.